So the challenge is about cross-domain few-shot learning. And we noticed a while ago that cross-domain few-shot learning and meta-learning are a bit underexplored in medicine and in realistic scenarios in general. So quite often meta-learning research involves these toy problem where you take different tasks in essence from the same data set and they all look the same with the same number of labels and so on. But really, it would be interesting to do few-shot learning by learning across domains, across really realistic clinical tasks, actually, the data we actually have. So we noticed there was actually no benchmark for that, and we started building a benchmark data set, and we decided to actually make a challenge on this data set for other people to try their algorithms out as well. So basically what the goal of the challenge is to build an algorithm that can learn from many medical domains. We provide data from 17 different data sets, actually. And then the algorithm should be able to adapt in a few-shot setting to another domain, which might be very similar, but which we keep secret, of course. In deep learning, typically we use a lot of data, and typically algorithms or models are trained using this huge amount of data. But for example, in medicine, we just don't have that sometimes. Sometimes we have small data sets that are collected in some clinic for some specific disease, or we have a very rare disease where even in a big data set, we just have a few examples. So in medicine and also in many other domains, it's actually very relevant to be able to learn from very few examples per class. And this is basically what few-shot learning is about. And there are different methods to do this. So transfer learning is one that we all know. But for example, meta-learning is a method that involves learning to learn. So there's this theory that in humans, so it's also called meta-learning in cognitive science, as far as I know, that in humans, the brain actually learns to learn and learns to distill what information is actually important when shown a new task with new examples, and therefore becomes more and more efficient. And that's why we probably can do what we can do, that we can just see one example for some new task that we've never seen before and actually be reasonably good at it. And basically the goal of few-shot learning is to build machines that can do the same. So we're expecting both scholars from the medical imaging world, as well as from the machine learning world to join. So few-shot learning and meta-learning is a hot topic in machine learning in general. And even though our data set is medical in nature, there's no reason for machine learning researchers that have nothing to do with medical data so far to not try out our challenge, because we actually made it very easy. So our data set is actually in a unified format. So all of these 17 different data sets with 28 different tasks are all available through a PyTorch interface. The images are all resized, so it's very easy to feed them to algorithms, and you actually don't necessarily need to have any specific domain knowledge. But who knows, domain knowledge might help. So of course, this is a medical challenge, and we want to bring few-shot learning to the medical imaging community. So of course, we invite the medical imaging community to join this challenge. So one thing that we were trying to do ourselves is basically find out what is the best method to build an algorithm that can learn from the plethora of data that we have and then be adapted in with very few examples on a new domain. And basically, that's what we want to know through the challenge and through many people trying it out and trying out their method and their ideas. We hope that we will actually get a better benchmark than just us in our group thinking about this and benchmarking a few methods.
Yeah, first of all, I want to add some points to your previous question. So I think even Stefano and I at the very beginning of our career, but I think our whole organizer team were expertized in this whole medical domain. For example, Christian, as you know, yeah, he basically work a lot in medical domain, and also Thomas, he works a lot and has a very close collaborations with hospital, and also him from University of Houston, and he's an expert in meta learning, and he also organized the tutorial on meta learning in MICCAI. So I think our whole group are qualified and also have experience in organizing challenge. That's yeah. So we are confident that the challenge is well designed, and yeah. For me, the motivation that why I want to join this challenge is I'm very interested in the topic it is about, because I think meta learning is a proper way to solve the problem, because the labeling of the medical data is very expensive to get. So with the meta learning or few shot learning method, we can really approach that problem. And it also have a lot of connections with the research I'm currently doing. Is like designing interpretable machine learning models. There are some interconnections between them. So I'm very interested in this topic. That's why I joined. Yeah.